Hello everybody, welcome back to Monstrous Menagerie. Today we'll be going over the aliens in the 2011 sci-fi smash hit, The Darkest Hour. Starring Emile Hirsch, who you might recognize as Speed from the Speed Racer movie, Max Minghella, who plays a detective on the Saw-related movie, Spiral, and Joel Kinnaman, who appeared in both of the Suicide Squad movies. And basically our story starts off with two young American entrepreneurs in Russia to try and sell their phone app they've designed that helps you locate clubs, meetups, and various things like that. They're heading to this tech company to meet with a man named Skyler who has set up a meeting to try and sell their app design, only to find out, Skyler has tricked them and stolen the app for his own. Now they have no rights to it. Frustrated with the situation, the two friends head to a bar to blow off some steam. At the bar, they run into two girls that had been previously seen using their app, and proceed to try and woo them. But before the night gets any later, suddenly all the power goes out. As they head outside, they notice a strange phenomena in the sky. It's glowing yellow and acting as if there's some sort of aurora happening in the atmosphere, which means that there's something electrical going on in the atmosphere. Before long, they notice these large shimmering lights begin to descend from the sky. Everyone's watching this as the lights slowly drift down, falling to the earth. There's no panic or anything crazy happening, just these mysterious lights coming down. One of the lights lands towards the ground and the crowd disperses around it, watching in awe as they're unsure what's happening. Soon the light fades, but there's electrical sounds emanating from the area, meaning that whatever it is still there, and pulses can be seen. A police officer steps forward to investigate the strange object, and this is what happens. That's what we call a yikes. These damn things were apparently Thanos snapping people before Thanos was even in the MCU. No, for real. This came out in 2011. Thanos wasn't in the MCU until Guardians of the Galaxy in 2014. But anyway, upon seeing this, the police's partner tries to shoot the creature. Yeah, this is what we call a problem. This is what you don't want to see. Yeah, that's not good for anyone involved. Upon seeing that these things can't be killed by bullets, the crowd disperses and everyone begins to run for their lives, many people getting caught up in the crossfire, getting hit by the aliens, and vaporized on the spot. One poor girl gets unalived when the thing whips out a lightning tendril, wraps around her neck, and just yanks her right in, disintegrating her entirely in about 2 seconds. So yeah, these things are definitely dangerous, but let's go ahead and give them a rating, shall we? Based on everything we see in the movie and the fact that they're seen wiping out scores and scores and scores of people, regardless of what the people throw at them, I would honestly rank these as apexes. Simply because in the movie it's only explored and shown that there's only one way to disrupt their field, to make them visible in the first place and disrupt their shielding. I'm assuming that's because their shielding and their invisibility is the same mechanism. But the fact that there's only one way to disable it makes them very dangerous. Eventually in the story, our group of survivors meets two other survivors by the name of Vika and Sergey. Sergey is an electrician who has converted his entire apartment into a Faraday cage. Now, for those of you who don't know what a Faraday cage is, I'm going to be putting up a diagram now. A Faraday cage is a large metal cage that you construct to protect anything inside from electricity or any other kind of radio waves or any source like that. It'll stop the signal from getting through, it'll stop the electricity. Sergey states that while in his apartment with the cage shut, the beings cannot see in and won't be able to see them. This is because the beings see bioelectrical signals given off by people's bodies, as shown here. So the cage is Sergei's apartment, and the beings cannot find them while inside, as long as it's closed. I forgot to mention earlier in the movie, our group actually came up with a way to recognize when these beings are around, and at first it seems like a smart idea. Noticing these things affect electrical items, they decide to put light bulbs on a necklace and wear around their neck, which on paper sounds like a decent idea because then they'll know when the creatures are nearby. But the reason this is actually really stupid isn't because of the idea itself. The light bulb does give you an idea of where they're at. But if you're wearing a light bulb around your neck and they're close enough to set it off, you're already too close and you're already dead. As you can see in the image, this thing's setting off these lights from at most maybe 10 feet away. That's kind of far and they move somewhat slowly, but you remember the energy tendril thing I talked about earlier? Yeah, they're seen grabbing people up with these things from about 20 to 30 feet away in the movie, so I really don't think a light bulb around your neck is going to save you. You're just going to wind up like this poor guy. So, what is one to do against something this strong and this powerful? Well, you make a homemade microwave gun, of course, because everyone knows how to do that. Well, okay, maybe if you're some crazy Russian electrician like Sergei, you know how to do that, because that's what Sergei builds in the movie. Here it is. Okay, I can't lie. This gun looks awesome. It looks like somebody tried to DIY a proton gun from Ghostbusters and make it a real thing. It's really cool. But in the movie, it's explained that a focus blast of microwave particles can disrupt their shield and cloaking temporarily, basically stunning them. This would allow you to then shoot them with regular weaponry and take them out. But the issue here with the practicality of people being able to survive this is very low because not everyone is a crazy Russian electrician that can build such a machine. Now, I'm not saying it would be impossible for people to come up with a way to do this, it's just very unlikely. Because keep in mind, at this point in time, most communication is down across the entire world and there's no way to get messages out. So even if somebody does discover this, there's no way to spread awareness about it and no way to tell people that this is what you need to do. So the likelihood of people making these contraptions in mass, whether it be a gun or some other form of microwave energy, it just wouldn't be very plausible that a lot of people would get their hands on this or even discover it in the first place. However, all is not lost because at one point in the movie, you see a group of survivors lure and shoot one of them, and when they blast it with an RPG, it actually shears off a piece of the metal plating that surrounds the creature. So, theoretically, if you hit it with either a big enough blast or enough times, you could theoretically break down all of its armor. Its armor seems to be consisted of a magnetic field that has these metal plates and these metal spirals around it that circulate over the entire thing. And the circulating motion is what vaporizes people when they get too close. Now, obviously we don't know what kind of metal this is that surround them, or even if maybe their entire body is made of metal. We don't really know anything about that, but we do know that a hit from an RPG was able to break a chunk of it off. Then, later in the movie, this chunk of metal that was broken off the creature is seen being thrown into one of them once they're visible. This causes the creature's parts to hit each other and then it explodes because the rings get out of alignment or something like that. So I would say how to beat them is blow them up with something to break off pieces and then use the scavenged pieces from the few you're able to kill that way to create weapons that can penetrate their shields. Or better yet, they're actually attracted to the shields because the metal in them is held together by this magnetic field, which seems to only target that kind of metal, because otherwise in the movie you'd see cars and everything else being drawn to them, but you don't. So basically, the way to beat them is find a way to blow parts of them off and then weaponize those parts to be used against them in various ways. I don't know if you'd be able to attach that and make it into a bullet, but it could be something you could try. Or maybe put it at the end of a spear. Could work. But theoretically, this is the best way I could think of to fight them off, because not everybody is going to have access or the know-how to create a frickin' microwave gun. Okay, so let's go over their scores. For their strength, they aren't really seen doing a whole lot of things in the movie that would be strength related, but with their energy tendrils, they are seen being able to lift and drag and toss people around fairly easily, so I'll give them a strength scoring of 3. As for intelligence, they're shown to be fairly smart and able to navigate their way around, just their sight alone being able to see how, where people's electrical signals are. I would give them at least a 4 for intelligence. As for agility, these things are not agile at all. You don't really see them moving that fast. A slow jog could outrun most of them. It's just the range of their tendrils you have to worry about. But as for agility, I would give them a score of 1 because that's the lowest I can. As for durability, these things are insanely durable. They're seen being shot at multiple times with bullets, and one of them even takes an entire RPG shot, and it doesn't do anything but slightly chip the armor. So for that, I'm giving them a durability score of 7. And last but not least, we have power. Just the abilities they show in this movie, the force field, their energy tendril, they even shoot like a lightning blast. They are pretty damn powerful. The only downside to their abilities is the fact that once they use them too much, that's partly why they're slow, and that it basically drains them. They can't do it infinitely, but that's kind of a small setback when you consider the amount of destruction they cause in this movie. So this lands them at a solid 8 for a power scoring. Overall, this gives them a score of 5.7, which is a little bit higher than a group of giant spiders that we featured here last week. Overall, I think this was a decent sci-fi movie, and I kind of wish we could have at least seen a sequel, maybe, because as far as an alien design, it's one of the more unique ones I've seen in several years. So, I don't know, I kind of wish this thing had a bit more of a following than it did, but, that's how things go sometimes. But probably the most ridiculous thing in this entire movie is the fact that at the start of the movie, one of the characters is seen playing a game on his phone. The funniest thing is the game is Dead Space. And I don't know if anyone remembers how bad phones were in 2011. But yeah, they could not support playing a game like Dead Space, and I found that very, very funny. But anyway, I hope you all enjoyed this video. This has been Monstrous Menagerie. Please remember to like and subscribe if you like content like this, and feel free to suggest other movie monsters or other creatures. It could be from anything. Movies, games, TV, whatever. But feel free to suggest in the comments below, and maybe they'll be in the next video. Thank you all for watching so much, and y'all have a blessed day. All images and clips from the film are owned by Regency Enterprises, Bezalev's Company, New Regency, and Jacobson Compa. I repeat, I don't own any of the properties associated with this movie. This was just for fun. Thank you for watching.